All right, guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about box number 1 of the services, which is the lead magnets training week number 5. We're going to go through quickly through the PowerPoint slides, and then we're going to go into actual live examples of different lead magnets that are used. All right, so we'll actually go online and look at different companies and stuff like that. But I want you guys to understand what a lead magnet actually is before we go out and do that. All right, because there's a number of different types of lead magnets you can use, and I'm going to go through it. It's not just a squeeze page with a thing on the back of it or whatever. That's not always how it works. Actually, in most cases, if you look at the biggest companies in the world, they're not doing it that way. They're doing it other ways. On the other hand, though, I would say probably almost every one of your clients will be an opt-in form with something attached to it. And the reason is just because they're not big enough to do it in other ways. All right. Obviously, that can change, but as of right now, that's probably how it's going to work out. All right. So let's look at what a lead magnet actually is. Number one, you have to understand that a lead magnet is a way to differentiate the client from the competition and capture leads. Now, it's not always capturing the actual information, okay? We'll go through examples where there is no exchange of information for something, but the capture is still there, okay? So understand that it's a way to differentiate yourself from the competition and capture leads, but not always actually capturing the information, all right? Also understand that a majority of the people that you work with will be doing both. They'll be capturing the information and separating themselves from the competition. All right, but it doesn't always have to be that way. So let's look at the 4 types of lead magnets that we have. Number 1 is a free giveaway. So that's the most common one, right? We see that when we hear that one talked about all the time on the internet or wherever. You give something away for free, you put an opt-in form in front of it, and the person gets the free thing, and then they get the name and email address and phone number, and then that's it. You market to that person over and over again, and you sell stuff or whatever, right? But there's a lot of other ways, too, that lead magnets are used. And if you look at the biggest companies in the world, they're not usually doing it that way. So the free giveaway is not done by the biggest companies in the world. And I'm going to show you some of the other ones that they use. And I usually incorporate a number of different lead magnets in with the clients that I work with. So we may have a free giveaway, but we also may use a specific environment that the person is in. All right, and we'll go through specific examples of companies that use each and every one of these, but an environment is a big one. And when you start looking at the companies that use environment to capture their leads and separate themselves from the competition, you're going to be blown away. All right. The next one is the ease of doing something. This is another big one. Think about this, for example. If you have a car dealership and you have 2 of them next to each other and they both sell Toyotas, right? One of them will give you the car for $500 less, but you have to wait 3 weeks to do it. The other one will give it to you for $500 more, but you can have it in 2 hours. Most people who are shopping for cars are going to choose the one that has the $500 higher price tag and drive the car off the lot right then and there. Why? Because $500 over the course of 6 years is only a couple dollars a month, and it's not that big of a difference. Okay? They're in it for the ease of doing something. Car dealerships also use environment to capture and retain the prospects. How do they do that? They put balloons in the dealership. They play music. They have pizza in the back. They have coffee machines. They have TVs. Why do they have all of those things? Because they're using the environment to capture the person and keep them there. Okay? We'll go through other examples of that as well, but those are the first 3. The last one is a sense of community. That is probably the most profitable one out of all of them, but it's a little devious. Okay, so understand that. The sense of community is the most profitable one. We'll go through some examples of it. It's the most profitable one, but it is a little devious, and it can get a little crazy if you do it the wrong way. All right, and most people who use the sense of community as their lead magnet do it the wrong way. All right, so just understand that. It sounds good, but it's really not. All right, so let's go into the free giveaway first, because that's the most common one. It's going to always sell on pain. So when you're creating a free giveaway, you don't want to put something that's attached to pleasure as the actual magnet to draw in the contact information for the person, okay? If you're asking for contact information. So I would never say something like, how to lose 20 pounds in 5 days, put your name and email address in the box below and get the free report. I would never say that. I would say something like, how to stop being fat and how to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, okay, without throwing up all over yourself or something like that. That is a better headline and will convert better as opposed to how to do something, okay? You always want to sell on the pain that they're currently in, and you also always want to provide a solution or a path that leads from the pain they're in now to the pleasure point that they want to be at in the future. And the key to a great lead magnet, or really the key to a great information product, as a whole, regardless of if it's a lead magnet or something you're selling or whatever, is to understand that the person is buying the path. You have to understand that. The person is buying the path. They're not buying the result that you got. They're buying the path that you took. It's very important to understand that, because people miss that all the time. They look at people like Donald Trump or whatever. I don't want to learn how Donald Trump buys, billion-dollar hotels. I don't care about that, because I don't have the money or the resources or the brain power to buy a billion-dollar hotel, right? I can't do that. But what I would love to learn is the path that Donald Trump took from the time he was broke until the time he made $1 billion, or his first million, or his first 10 million, or whatever it is. That path is what I would pay for. I don't pay for the result that he got. I don't care about the result he got. What I care about is the path that he took, because that path can then be modeled in my own life, and I can see similar results to that. Same thing like if you look at a golfer, right? If a golfer is out on the golf course and he's really bad at golf, you can say to that person, look, find out what Tiger Woods does every single day and do that same thing for a year or 6 months or 3 months or 2 months or whatever it is. Do that same thing. Whatever he does, he hits 500 golf balls a day. He eats certain meals. He dresses a certain way. He has a certain workout routine. Don't cheat on your wife. But everything else, just do those things that he does every day. And you may not be on the PGA Tour, but you'll be a better golfer than you are now. Okay? So we're not buying the end result. We're buying the path that the person took from point A to point B. Because we're at point A, that's where we're coming in, right? And we want to be at point B, which is where they are, and we're buying the connection between the two of them. So that's how a great lead magnet is created, and that's really how a great information product is created as well, regardless of if you're giving it away for free or selling it, okay? So it provides a solution, the path between the pain and the pleasure, and that's what they're buying. It always acknowledges the pain first. So if you look at the white paper that we have, right? A lot of people talk about, well, why is the next formula up there on top? Why do you go through the need and the entry point and the scalability and all that stuff? Why do you do that first when you're already going into established businesses? The reason why I do that is because that formula establishes and acknowledges the pain that they're going through. The reason why they're in the pain that they're in now with their revenue or whatever is because they didn't choose their business the right way. If they would have entered into a market based on need, if the entry point was super high where not a lot of people could do it, if the scalability was there, if the time separation was there, if all that stuff was in play, they wouldn't need me. The reason why they need me, the reason why they're in pain is because they didn't do those things. So I'm acknowledging all of that in the beginning. Then what I'm doing is I'm saying, listen, even though you did all of this wrong, we can still have a solution. We still have a solution that will be able to do all the things that you want to do. So you screwed up the whole first part of it, but we can fix it. Okay, so we provide them with the solution, which are the 5 boxes that you're learning box number 1 now, the 5 boxes that we go through. Okay, and you're building trust throughout the whole entire thing. The whole entire thing. From the second they open up that, actually, let's take it a step back. From the second they land on your website, you're already building trust and rapport with the person. All right, from the second they land on your website, when they put their email address in, when they put their phone number in, whatever it is, when they first open the PDF, when they first watch your video, whatever that first thing is, you are building trust right away. And you're building trust and rapport with that person throughout the entire process. Same thing on the telephone, same thing in person. On the telephone, everybody says you have 3 or 4 seconds to do it. I think it's even less than that. I think it's the first word. If you screw up hello, it's over. It's over. If you come off weak with hello, it's over. All right, so you have to start building trust and rapport from the second they see you. The second they see you, whether it's on a website or a telephone or in person, trust and rapport is being built. So that's done all throughout the entire process. And you always ask for an interaction at the end. Now, a lot of people call this the call to action or asking them to buy something or whatever the case may be. I don't, call it what you want. But really what you're doing is you're asking them to interact with you in some way, shape, or form. Whatever that may be. It doesn't matter. Whether it's click here to buy the product that you are learning about, or whether it's, call me at this number or email me here, or whatever it is, fill out this form, whatever it may be. At the end of the process, you're asking for some sort of interaction. Now, you have to remember that these people are also getting sold a segmentation sale before they even read any of this. Okay? So keep that in mind when you're creating your free giveaway, because if your free giveaway and your segmentation sale conflict each other, meaning like a lot of times I'll see if a company sets up a free giveaway and they have a segmentation sale, they'll be giving away a $100 product for $5 as a segmentation sale, right? But then at the end of their free giveaway, they're trying to sell the $100 product that they just gave away for $5 in the segmentation sale. That's a problem. They're conflicting each other. They're butting heads at the end, right? So we have to make sure that the two are different and they're not going to interact with each other. Or they're not going to conflict with each other, all right? So if you're going to be selling something, make sure you keep that in mind. If not, if it's just an interaction, just put your phone number in and say, call me or whatever, all right? Not that big of a deal. And always remember that the free giveaway does not have to be in exchange for contact information. Most of the time it will be. Okay, most of the time it will be, but it doesn't have to be. The way that I run my company, I don't ask for information before they get my white paper. Why? Because if I did that, the amount of people that actually read the white paper would go down substantially. I have so many people reading it now that I don't need to ask for information because I only want to deal with the people who actually call me. I don't want to deal with the people who don't, okay? So for me, it just works out better that way. And for companies who are selling high-ticket services, products, and services, it's usually going to work out better that way, all right? Okay, next, environment. Companies that create environment for their customers or prospects or whatever usually end up dominating their marketplace, all right? This is, in my opinion, the best lead magnet for an offline business where people have to walk into an establishment. So, for example, you can't really create an environment for a plumbing company, but you can create an environment for a movie theater, right? And there's a movie theater by me, it's called Island 16, that did this. They created an environment where when you go to a movie theater, usually you go out, you get your popcorn, you get your soda, you go in to sit in the movie theater, and you just sit there and you watch the movie and you leave, right? Well, if you go into Island 16, you pay a little bit more, but there's leather chairs that recline. You can get pizza, you can get Starbucks, you can get, there's a full bar in the movie theater. It's like the craziest place you ever see. It looks like you're at like a baseball game or something when you go to the movie theater. Again, you pay a little bit more, but the environment is what people go for. They can go to see the movie anywhere, but they choose to go there because the environment is so much better than every other place that they go to, all right? So the environment provides a unique experience for the person coming into the place, okay? Usually, I just gave a horrible example because usually a boring product is attached to it. I gave an example of a movie theater, but usually you'll find out when we go through our examples, usually it's a product that's not that exciting, okay? So, for example, a bookstore can create a unique environment. Now, a lot of people think books are exciting. I happen to not think they're exciting. I love to read, but when I see a new book, I don't want to like jump out of my chair and run around and scream, right? So for me, a book is a pretty boring thing, but you can create a great environment and draw in a prospect field by just creating a different environment at a bookstore. Like I said before, same thing with a car dealership. Dentists do this all the time, right? Are you going to go to the dentist with the nice, comfortable chair that puts a blanket over you when he's working on you and the TV and the headphones? Or are you going to go to the guy that has a chair from 1970 that's freezing cold, it's hard, you can barely, your neck is killing you the whole time? You go to the dentist with the better stuff. Why? Because the environment and the experience is better. Okay, that's why dentists now are called dental spas. Why? Because the environment draws in the people. That's why they changed the name of it. Not all of them, but the successful ones are called dental spas now. That's why, because it changes the environment, changes the experience. People come for the experience first. They usually buy the product only because of the experience, okay? So when we go into the examples, I'm going to go into them in a second. Price conscious, but justify the price. But let's just open this up so you look at the examples. Starbucks and Little Italy in New York City. So first of all, Starbucks, right? I can go buy a cup of coffee anywhere. I can make one in my house. I have all the machines with a little tiny cups in them where you put in and you push the button and the thing comes out and it's great coffee, just like Starbucks or wherever else. I can do that right in my house, right? But why do I choose to go to Starbucks to buy their coffee? The reason why I choose to go there is because usually there's nice music playing. Well, there's always nice music playing, but usually there's, I can sit down and read a magazine, or I can sit down and read the paper, or I can, there's other people there that I can interact with, or whatever the case may be. I go there for the environment. I don't go to buy a cup of coffee. I go for the environment and buy a cup of coffee because I'm there. Okay? Big difference between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. When people go to Dunkin' Donuts, they go to buy a cup of coffee, and that's it. They go there to buy. They don't go there to like talk with people or whatever. They go there to buy a cup of coffee. When people go to Starbucks, they go there for the experience and happen to buy a cup of coffee because they're there. Huge, huge difference, and that's why Starbucks dominates the coffee world, because people go there for the experience and buy their product as a secondary thing. If the experience wasn't there, they wouldn't be going. All right. Price conscious, but they justify by paying for the experience. And when I go to Starbucks, I pay $3 for a cup of coffee because I enjoy the experience. I understand that I can go to another place or a gas station or whatever and buy a cup of coffee for $1.50. But walking into a gas station, walking into Starbucks, two totally different things. All right. Same thing with Little Italy is just an example, but same thing with a place like that, right? I can go down to Mulberry Street in Manhattan, sit down on the side of the road, and literally like on the sidewalk, and get served by authentic Italian people, real Italian food that's made in the place. It's not like canned sauce or whatever, like it's real stuff. A little bit more expensive. I have to drive into New York City or take the train or whatever. It takes a lot more time. It's a little bit more of a hassle. It's a whole day's worth of, event to go down there for me, because I'm far away I'm about an hour and a half from New York City, but it's a whole day to do it. But I justify all of that because the experience is awesome. Okay? So that's why it happens. You pay more for the experience, and it's not the price conscious market doesn't usually work for the environment type lead magnet. Okay? Next, the ease of doing something. We went into this a little bit before with the car dealership example. And there's a lot of companies that use this. Again, you could take any company and use any one of these, or any industry and use any one of these lead magnets. It doesn't make a difference. If you have a plumber who charges $50 more than the next guy, but he can have the job done in 5 minutes, that guy's going to get the business, right? That's the ease of doing something. So let's go take a look at it. People come for the simplicity of the transaction. They're not concerned usually with price. They're not concerned with usually quality. They're only concerned with the simplicity of the transaction. If you could do it in 2 minutes or less, you're good to go. All right? That's why they like it. Now, the price has to be, if you're buying a bottle of Powerade like I have next to me right now, and I have to go to a gas station to buy the Powerade, and it takes me 10 minutes to get to the gas station, and 10 minutes to get back, and 5 minutes to go into the gas station to get it, for a total of 25 minutes, but the Powerade only cost me $1.50. Someone can't come to my house with a thing of Powerade and sell it to me for $10 a bottle. I wouldn't buy it, right? It wouldn't happen because the price is just out of line. But if they sold it to me for $2.50, I'd probably take it. Okay, so the price has to be in line, all right? They buy because of time. They buy because of the ease of the transaction, the simplicity of it. They can come in, get what they need, and leave. Next, they're usually not shoppers because of the type of business model. It doesn't matter, again, what the price of the product is, as long as the product is in line with everything else. It's always going to be more for the most part. There's one major example of this that price is usually better than every other place, but that's rare. Okay, usually the products in this type of lead magnet, the companies that use this type of lead magnet sell a more expensive product than their competitors. All right, and they justify that again by the ease of the transaction. But the big example that we use, and hopefully you guys should be already understanding the company that I'm going to mention when I talk about this, but the price is usually better at the one example, the example that we're going to use, but it's not always like that. They choose to buy the needed product. Understand that, write that down. They choose to buy the needed product from the business because of the experience. Go back to the last one that we had, which is the environment, right? The people that choose the environment, that go in for the environment, they don't need to buy the product. They buy the product because they're going for the experience. These people buy the needed product, something that they need it. They have to have it. They're going to buy it somewhere, right? But they choose to buy it from this company because of the ease of doing the transaction. Okay? Big, big, big difference. Huge difference. If you're selling something, if your client is selling something that's not a need, it's something of a, it's a want, right? And they focus on the ease of the transaction, it's going to be a disaster because people don't need it. So they'll shop around. They'll go other places because they don't need it right now, right? If you're looking at something like a gym or something like that, the ease of doing the transaction is not going to work because there's so many different other places they can go. If you're going to charge $100 more for a gym membership and you're only focusing on, you can buy the gym membership right now. Yeah, it's a little bit more than the other guy, but the other guy makes you wait a day. We do it right now. That's never going to work because they don't need to do that right now. They can wait a week or two or a day or whatever it is. It has to be a needed product, something that they need right now, okay? 2 examples, Amazon and McDonald's. Amazon is built on simplicity. I can go on Amazon, my credit card information is stored, I can do a one-click transaction to a movie that I want. I just did it last night, Captain Phillips. Watched the movie, it was excellent. One-click transaction and boom, it's done. Now, I could have went to the store and bought the DVD of the movie that I wanted to buy. I could have, went to the red box thing and bought it and watched it there or whatever. But because all my information is stored on Amazon, because it's there, I can one-click it, boom, it's right on my TV, it's done, I'm watching it in 5 minutes. The ease of the transaction is what brings me there, okay? Prime membership. Why do they have Prime membership? Because it makes the transaction easier. Now, instead of waiting 5 or 6 or 7 days to get my stuff, I can get it in 2. I go to Amazon to buy things because I can go on there, all my information is stored, free 2-day shipping, and I don't have to worry about it. They have things like automated ordering, right? I forget what they call it, but like I'm on subscriptions for like 9 million different things. But it's like a subscription thing. Like I get my coffee creamer this way, my sugar this way, my coffee this way, cups, spoons, forks, because I use plastic stuff because I hate doing dishes. Plastic forks, spoons, knives, plates, all that stuff is on automated ordering. So every month I get what I need. It's just I don't have to worry about it, right? McDonald's is the same thing. People don't go to McDonald's because it's the cheapest food in town. People don't go to McDonald's because it's the best burger. People don't go to McDonald's because the fries are the best. They go to McDonald's because they drive up to the thing, they say what they want. 2 seconds later, it shoots out a window. They give the guy some money, and they drive away, and they're done. Their whole entire meal is solved in like 5 minutes. It's easy. That's why they do it. Not because it's the best, not because it's the cheapest, because it's much cheaper to go to the supermarket and buy your food and cook it than it is to go to McDonald's, right? They do it because it's easy. It's simple. It's there. They just pull up, they say what they want, and they get it, okay? Next, sense of community. This is the most devious one. Not always, but most of the time, okay? Sense of community. People come because they want to be part of the crowd. They want to be, they want to be like the in people. They want to come with the trend or whatever you want to call it. They want to be considered cool or fit in. Wait till you see the examples of this one. I give 3 examples. The three things that you're going to see at the end of this, you would never think would fit together, but they do very well. These products are usually harmful to the health or well-being of the person buying them. Usually. Not always. Not always. Very important to understand that. Usually they're harmful, but not always harmful. So you look at things like energy drinks and stuff, right? They could be harmful, they might not be, but I don't know. But that's like a trend that people go and they just want to be cool and buy the 5-hour energy thing and drink it, right? Now, for me, I don't go and show off that I drink 5-hour energy all day. I don't go to 7-Eleven and like carry it around. Oh yeah, I'm going to go drink 5-hour energy and run around town. It's shipped to my house through Amazon in a case. I drink it because I would fall asleep if I didn't have it. But these things, they could be harmful to your health, right? And usually the products that use the sense of community or being the cool people are the ones, they use that lead magnet. Those are the ones that are usually harmful to your health or well-being in the long term. People buy or they participate because of the pain associated with being left out of the crowd. That's the only reason why they do it. Usually, when people do this, they will experience an immense amount of pain in the beginning, and that pain will eventually wear off as they get deeper and deeper into the product or service that they're using. So, for example, an energy drink. The first time I had 5 Hour Energy, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, my heart was racing. I was shaking all over the place. I was sweating. It was horrible. But then as I drank it, over and over again, now I drink like 10 of them a day. I'm not, that's horrible, but I do because I'd fall asleep if I didn't. But the first time you do it, it's horrible. But after you keep doing it a lot, it starts to become part of your daily routine or whatever. So yeah, they do it because they feel like they're going to be left out if they don't. So the examples of this are cigarettes, alcohol, and Apple computers. Now, again, you would never think that the first two are associated with each other all the time, but you'd never think I'd throw in Apple computers with cigarettes and alcohol. Apple computers and their products are not harmful to the health or well-being of somebody. They're not. But the reason why people go in and buy, a super majority of people that go in and buy a MacBook Pro do not need a MacBook Pro. The reason why they do that is because they think they're cool when they go to their experience at Starbucks and they have the glowing Apple sign on the back of their computer. That's why they do it. Half of them don't even know how to use it correctly. Okay, what's cooler, having the Apple logo on the back or Acer? The Apple logo. So these people spend the extra money just to experience that logo on the back of the machine. Because the pain is not being in the crowd, not being in the cool person, not being the techie person. I make fun of earbuds all the time. You see the idiot in Starbucks with the MacBook Pro with the earbuds in. Why does he have earbuds in? They're the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Why does he have them in? Because the pain associated with not being the cool techie guy is too much for him. So he throws the earbuds in as opposed to the big goofy looking headphones that I wear. Right? Cigarettes and alcohol, same thing. The first time you smoked a cigarette, if you ever smoked in your life, the first time you smoked it was probably horrible. Second time you smoked it was probably horrible. But the pain of being left out of that crowd was too much. So you smoked anyway, even though you hated it. And then eventually it started to just become a daily routine for you. Drinking alcohol, same thing. I don't do either of those, but never drank in my life. I smoked a little bit when I was younger, but never drank in my life. And, but it's the same thing. You drink the first time, you get really sick or whatever. And then eventually it just starts becoming more and more part of daily routine. And the only reason why you do it is because of the pain of being left out of the cool crowd or, trying to fit in or whatever. All right. So that's a devious one, but it does work. Right? If you do it the right way, it does work. The greatest lead magnet in the world is freaking nicotine, right? I mean, really, it is. Because once you give it to somebody one time, or not one time, but you give it to them over the course of a couple days or a week or whatever, you have a customer for life. Now, life's going to be short, but you have a customer for life for the most part, right? I'm not saying to put nicotine in like people's water or anything, but that's the way it works. Okay, so what you have to remember is this. The lead magnet, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It has to fit into what your client does. The lead magnet separates the client from the competition. That's what it does. Okay, you look at Starbucks. The reason why people go to Starbucks over a Dunkin' Donuts is because of the experience. The reason why people, smoke cigarettes as opposed to chewing gum is because of fitting in the beginning, right? Then obviously they become addicted to the chemicals, but in the beginning, it's about fitting in. The reason why people go to McDonald's over cooking food at home is because of the ease of the transaction. The reason why the people choose Painter A over Painter B is because Painter A gave them a free thing that said the top 5 things you must know before hiring any painter. Stop getting ripped off. Put your name and email address in and your phone number, and we'll deliver it to your inbox right away. That's actual copy that I used for my lead magnet, so you should probably listen to that over and over again. But that's why they chose that person, because that person or that company separated themselves from the competition. If they don't use a lead magnet to separate themselves from the competition, the product or service becomes commoditized. And what that means is it's purely a price-based transaction. And you never, ever, ever want to become a commoditized industry or product or service in your area. Never. And most places are. Most small businesses are. If you're going to hire a painter, 90% of your decisions based on price. If you're going to hire an air conditioner guy, 90% of your decisions based on price. It's all about the commoditization of the industry. And that's a big problem. If you don't separate yourself and give added value on top of what everyone else is doing, then you can never get out of that commoditized zone. And that's a big problem. The lead magnet captures the prospect's attention, not always contact information, but attention, so that they are drawn back to the product or service over and over again. Remember, there's a number of different ways to do this. You put a name and email address in, you get the form, you get the PDF, right? Put the name and email address in the form, you get the PDF. That captures the information of the person so that I can grab their attention and keep bringing them back over and over again. Starbucks, the music and the place and the seats and the magazines and the people, the interaction, that grabs my attention. It brings me back over and over again, right? Another example, the ease of ordering on Amazon. That captures my attention. When I need to buy something, I think, let me check Amazon first because I have a Prime membership. My credit card's already stored. If it's on there, I can just click one button and I'm done. It's over. The ease of doing it is there. McDonald's, same thing. You drive by McDonald's, you're hungry. You're not there for good food. You're there for the ease of the transaction. So that keeps your attention, keeps you coming back over and over again. All right, so the lead magnet captures the prospect's attention so that they are drawn back to the product or service over and over again. It becomes a constant cycle where they keep thinking about your product over and over again. All right, so here's your week. This is what I want you to do for this week. And this is only the first video of this week. Remember, we're going to have this video. We're going to have examples. I'm going to show you live examples on the computer. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do box number 2, which is a segmentation sale. And then I'm going to show you examples of that as well. I'm going to try to find some, but I'm going to show you examples of that as well. All right, so it's going to be definitely 3 videos this week, probably 4. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick a random local company in your area. It doesn't matter who it is. You're not going to show them anything. You're not going to talk to them. Just pick any company out of the yellow pages or on Google or whatever. Just throw a dart, pick a company. Then what I want you to do is I want you to map out 2 lead magnets for the company. I want you to use, though, 2 different types. We all basically know squeeze page, PDF, that type of thing. But I want you guys to try to, you can do that for one of them, but I want you to try to see if you can set up an experience type lead magnet for a company, or an ease of transaction type lead magnet for a company, or a community, if you want to, type lead magnet for a company. Something like that. Try to set up another one, in addition to just the typical squeeze page thing that we always talk about. So use 2 different ones. Try to watch the video at least twice. Take notes. Listen to the MP3 at least twice. We're going to give you the MP3s, videos, and the PDF of the slides. And then after that, just go on to the next video, and I'm going to show you actual live examples of how this is done.